Hi. Let's see if they can hear me swallow this drink.
Monstera. I just
Oh,
went
at
a
least you
little
can
like
see.
behind. Hi guys.
This is my first time doing this ever, okay? Welcome to my first video with a guest collab. And I wanted to introduce you guys to my best friend, my Leo queen, my right hand arm, my silly rabbit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm Mr. Sterling's right hand arm, man. His silly rabbit. His what?
This is Leslie. You can introduce
Hello.
yourself.
Hi guys.
She is an artist. I call her a travel influencer. And I wanted her to be my first guest for this episode because I think she's so inspirational, not only to me, but so many other folks out there. And we met in college at Texas State during painting. And she was doing a lot at Texas State. I think what were you like a double major?
Yeah, I double majored in communication design, which is like graphic design and all of that stuff,
Yeah.
and in painting. So that was quite a full plate. I was also the president of the Fine Arts Student Association for
Period.
a year, 2 years, maybe? I don't remember anymore. And an honors college, so I was pretty stacked with all of my stuff back then. And I still am. I love doing a lot of things, so I'm constantly busy, constantly working on different projects. And I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Yes, yes.
We just had a long weekend of Friendsgiving and seeing Wicked.
A big get together. We haven't seen each other in like a year.
Yeah,
So
that's why I had to lock her down for today.
We had to lock in. Yes, bro.
But yeah, and we met during like it was trying times. Yeah, we bonded.
It was a trauma bond for sure. There at the beginning, yes. Yeah, just not great guy stuff happening. So
right, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that we had to go through these trials and tribulations so that we can become friends and get closer. Yeah. And then along the way, during our friendship, we ended up traveling together or traveling for a bit. We're both living in San Marcos, and one of our first trips we went to was Big Ben, and then the White Sands, and what? Wait, where was White Sands? White Sands that was in New Mexico?
Yeah, we did Big Bend and then drove a little bit further. We went to Marfa as well, no?
Yeah, Marfa. Yeah,
Marfa.
It was all in one trip, I think.
It was a very spontaneous trip as well. I was seeing a guy at that point, and he had made me so mad. And I was like, I gotta go. It was like 2 in the morning or something.
No, we gotta do something.
We gotta go tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I highly recommend the White Sands. I always forget where it was exactly. It felt like a completely different planet. What year did we go to Big Ben? That was like 2019 or 2020? 2019.
I think it might have been 2020.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe like very end of 2019. I don't remember if it was in the fall or the spring that we went.
I think it was 2019 to 2020, maybe.
It was in there.
Yeah. Because we were living at, I think I was living at Uptown at that time.
Yeah, my car got towed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were living together, and then but I remember we went somewhere, unless that was Corpus Christi, where I lived at Uptown, and then you were like, you want to just go to Corpus Christi? And then it was like, in 2021, you went to Europe for your birthday, and then I went to go meet you there.
Yes.
So how was your first half of that trip?
Before you got there?
Yeah.
It was really good. I'm trying to remember. But I had flown into Italy, so I had done most of Italy already, and I went back to a few of the places that I'd already visited and seen. And then I took a train from Italy to Barcelona, and that's where we met up.
Mm.
And we were gonna go to Ibiza for my birthday, but I read the times wrong, and so we were like 2 hours late to the ferry, and we had to postpone the whole birthday Ibiza trip to the day after my birthday.
Yeah.
But since it was COVID times and things were still like barely opening up, everybody was super okay with us like moving our days back, moving everything, and we didn't get charged very many fees at all. Which
Yeah.
was really good. I feel like we would not get that now. Now they'd be like,
Yeah. We'd be like, well,
not our
oh, well.
problem. Yeah.
They'd be like, get out.
Yeah. Actually, don't come back. No, it was really good. And then from there, we went to Paris as well. So
Yeah. And Paris was
great.
fun. I only had like a day there. I guess you were there for like a week, and then and then I met you for the second half of the week. And so I just met her in Barcelona, and you were coming from was it Milan?
Florence, I think.
Okay.
But I don't know if I stopped in France along the way or not.
I remember you were like at a train station beforehand, and then okay, yeah. But yeah, I only had a day in Paris, but it was fun. I feel like I did so much in that short span of time. Yeah. And then she took me to what was it it was that mall, and it starts with an S. That's where you got your shoes.
Oh yeah, I remember. Goddamn, I don't remember what the mall's called, but it was a very fancy mall.
I was about to say the Smithsonian, but it was not.
No, it was not the Smithsonian. No, I don't remember what it's called at all. No, but we did that, and then we went to the Eiffel Tower at night. And we made some really good friends there. We met Amory and his partner.
Yeah, and that was cool. You guys see the Eiffel Tower be all sparkly. You had your Italian wine. Yeah, that was real nice. It did get scary at some point.
Yeah, we stayed there too late. I think we definitely missed the period for leaving.
It was about to be like taken.
Yeah, but I feel like it was good that we stayed there because there was that other girl that they were like, there was a bunch of guys and they just started being really creepy. And
it literally looked like they were coming out from the shadows.
Literally, like coming out of the bushes.
Immersion.
Yeah. Like it hit a certain time at night, and then they just all appeared, and it was like, oh, okay.
We're like, oh, we should probably get the taxi or something.
But there was this girl, was she by herself or something? And then we were like staying with her, like trying to get her a taxi. Do you remember?
She was there with the other girls too, but the guys kept taking her, like trying to take her away from us. And then we sent her in an Uber.
Like, I'm just gonna walk. And but she was walking like super far away. Like
no, y'all, we literally saved a life.
Eiffel Tower to Versailles or something.
Yeah.
And we were like, there's no fucking way. Like, you're not gonna do that. And so we got her a taxi. And then did we bike back or did we walk back?
We got a taxi, but we had bike too. We were walking for a while, and then we started to see more of the men come from the alleyways.
And it started raining, and so it's kind of like, okay, like we've done what we can. Time to just dad.
And I think the taxi driver like saved our lives, and then he was like, "Oh, do y'all need to go to the airport the next day?" And I was like, "I do."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What time?" And at that time, it was like 3 a.m. And then I was like 6 a.m. And he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna call you." And so
he's like, "I'm gonna keep calling you until you come out." Like,
yeah. And then I literally slept on in my clothes above the sheets in the what was it, the Airbnb hotel thing. Yeah. But oh my gosh, it was crazy. And then we went snorkeling in Ibiza too. And we thought it was our last day on Earth because we couldn't swim.
Yeah. It was our first time ever snorkeling, and I thought that they would give us a little bit more instruction, or like the guide would come in with us or something.
Or vest.
But they didn't. Yeah, or like life jackets or something. But we literally just it was like the entrance of a cave. And they were like, "Okay, everybody, get out!" And then they were like pushing people off the boats. Like the guy was like, "Do you remember that?"
We were the only people who represented Texas.
Yeah, just us. And then like literally into the deep end. Like could not figure it out. Couldn't even put on the snorkel.
Yeah.
Like I was
at some point we were like, we can just swim. It would be better if we swim without the snorkel. But I think we went to like a second or third stop, and by that time we were able to
get it together.
Yeah. to do it better. Now I feel like we're more like experts at this point because now we snorkeled a good couple of times. Snorkeling was really cool because we met like that German guy who works with NBA players.
Yeah.
And then
we went to dinner with him.
Yeah. And then the girls from they were French. I think they were French. It was like two girls. Yeah, I think these are when we were on the boat. We met up with them when we were trying to go clubbing and stuff. Yeah, it was them, and then there was like these two Spaniard girls. I think they were influencers, but they did not like us at first. They were not feeling the vibes, but then later on, I think because Leslie has like an aura of people gravitating towards her, and she knows how to make friends and stuff, and so everyone was like talking to her and everything, and then all of a sudden, the Spaniard girls wanted to be friends, but yeah.
We were staying at this really cute, like all pink hotel, and we didn't realize that it was a gay hotel until like in the morning, and we went to go get breakfast, and it was just like all these gay couples together, and we were like, wait, what is this?
Oh, this is nice. And they had the little unicorn in the pool.
Yeah, and they were so nice. Like they gave us because we ended up having to like we were supposed to be there for my birthday, and it ended up being the day after my birthday. I think for breakfast they gave us like mimosas.
Yeah, it was the best breakfast. Yeah. It was really, really good. I love their orange juice or whatever it was. The hash browns. I forgot what was on their plate. Everything was delicious.
I really enjoyed it. I liked it. It was very quiet. Like it was definitely not like the Ibiza that we were expecting, but because it was COVID times, like it was very like everything was very
chill.
Close. Yeah. And a lot cheaper. Like I know I've had friends that went this year and they were like everything is so expensive. Like we paid like $50 for a bottle of water, like at a club. And we did not have that experience. So
yeah.
Good for us.
Yeah, it was very, very chill. The beaches were really nice. It was probably one of the best beaches I've ever seen. The water was so blue and almost like turquoise. The people were chill. Everything was lax. One thing that surprised me about Spain in general was the diversity, which is like crazy to say, but it was very diverse.
Yeah.
And
there was so much art, like in Barcelona. Like there were so many like vegan and vegetarian restaurants. Yeah. There was so much art everywhere. The food was hidden. Yeah. And the people were beautiful. Like I feel like that's what I was about to say. It was just like
if you think you would 10 here, you're gonna be very humbled.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
When you get over there, because everyone looks like European models or something.
Like they're all just so healthy and like sun-kissed and like
and can dress. Yeah, that was like a big one. Like literally, I think after a while we were like, okay, we need to get some new clothes. Yeah, and so we immediately did that because
we were not prepared for the fashion, the street fashion.
It was super nice. And then we went to that one church. Do you remember what it was? You remember what it's called? I was about to say the Basilica.
It is. Isn't it?
I think so.
The Gaudi Church that they just finished this year, actually.
I think.
Which is really nice. The Sagrada Familia. Yeah, no, it was gorgeous. I had always wanted to go there. I am so wow. Like I definitely feel like that was bucket list for me for sure. And it was such a different experience being inside it. Like just the light and the space. It was
the pictures did not do it justice. I legit thought from looking at the pictures that they had LED lights in there, but it was just the sun coming through the stained glass. And I think both of us were like, oh man, if we experienced this back then, we'll be religious, very religious.
Yeah, like it is crazy. The spaces
it looks crazy.
And that's so true. Like I guess now it hits a little bit less different.
Now there's concerts.
Yeah, now we're so used to like all the bright lights and all of the things. But back then, like you wouldn't see that anywhere else.
That'll be the spot.
That would be the spot. Wow.
So that was our trip in 2021. 2023. Yeah. Went to Costa Rica for my birthday, and that was super duper nice. Yeah. And I think you were already living in Ireland at that point. And so you came back to the States so that we could fly out to Costa Rica. So that was a lot of fun. We went to the Caribbean side, which was Puerto Viejo, and we ended up renting a car.
Yeah, it was the cutest little chimney ever.
Yeah, and I'm so sad that they don't have those here because it was literally the perfect. I feel like it was a mixture between a Kia and a Jeep, which may not sound appealing to people, but it was like a small enough car
so good,
for driving off on the terrain and stuff and long trips. It was perfect. Yeah, and it was blue. But yeah, we had flew into San Jose, stayed at this cute hotel.
Great breakfast, great dinner.
Yeah, and a free shuttle.
Yeah, which was super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
The airport was so crazy. I feel like when we first got there, like it was just like taxi men, and they were like taxi,
Yeah.
taxi here. Like they were trying to grab us and like take us in their taxi, and we were like, no.
Like,
I'm so happy that we didn't have to actually like deal with
yeah,
that.
because we
figure
got
out how
there
to
at
get there.
night too, like at 10
Yeah.
o'clock at night. And one thing, like I did so much research on Costa Rica before going there, and I did not know. Like I was researching for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I did not know that it got darker way earlier. Like it was like 5 o'clock was like the 10 o'clock there or something. Yeah, and then things would close early, like at 8 or 7. But going to Costa Rica, you can definitely become a morning person very easily. But it was very chill, very relaxed.
Yeah, it was our first time being there for both of us. Yeah, first time we'd ever gone. It was so good. I feel
know
like
people were probably
everything worked out
scared.
so perfectly for us. Like we had no issues. Everything was just great.
It felt like for the first time ever, or like in a while, that my birthday was going according to plan.
Yeah.
Because we got there, like we got there on the 25th, and then on the 26th I wanted to go to Rio Celeste, and then and she was making it her mission to make sure we got there.
We did.
Yeah. And then but that was like a sight to see. I highly recommend going there. But that's why we ended up having to like rent a car because we had to drive like 3 to 4 hours up
north and then go all the way down south.
Yeah.
But it was so good. Like there's such a culture for like street vendors and things. So like everywhere that we were driving, there was like men selling coconuts and like selling all kinds of fresh fruits and things. It was so good. Like such a worth it like experience. But you did Costa Rica recently, and you did the shuttle instead.
Yeah.
How do you feel about those two experiences?
I don't know, because the shuttle was very nice because it just seemed ideal if you're just going to stay in one spot anyways. And so like we rented the car because we knew we were going to have to go to so many places within like a couple of days.
Yeah,
but with
we were
the
definitely prioritizing speed.
Yeah,
Getting there on our time.
But this time around, we knew we were just going straight to Puerto Viejo, and over there, like it's we stayed in the downtown area, and it's not like high rises or anything. It's literally just like a beach town, and everything's close together. All the restaurants are close together, the markets, the banks, and stuff. And so, I was like, yeah, we don't need a car. We'll just get a shuttle. But we almost had a scare because like when we were trying to book the shuttle, it was almost as much as, or I think I messaged you, like it was almost as much as renting a car. And we were like, she was just get a car. And I was like, no, because we're gonna have to get gas, da, da, da. But the thing is, when me and her went to Costa Rica the first time, we like flew in, and then the next day got to rent a car, and then like drove. So like it didn't seem like too much, like not too much jet lag or anything. But when you get a and then when you get a shuttle, it was like we flew in for 5 hours and then got on the shuttle for 5 hours because there is no like closer airport to Puerto Viejo. And so and it felt like forever. Like we were trapped on there with like this little girl and her mom, and she was like very curious, and I'm like, oh, it's so cute and stuff, but her mom seemed rude a little bit. Yeah, she just seemed like a like not uppity, but I guess a little bit uppity. Like
Yeah.
she literally came into the shuttle already having problems with like the guy that was picking
Really?
us up, and
Yeah.
then everyone's like trying to sleep, right? And the little girl is like, "Where are you going? Where are you from?" And da da da.
Oh,
And
how old is she?
then I don't know, but I want to say they probably were from Costa Rica,
Yeah.
but I think the little girl, I feel like she comes like in and out from the States.
Yeah.
And so the mom was trying to teach her Spanish. So
Yeah.
they were like learning Spanish on the bus. Like
Yeah.
like this is me and this is the little girl like over there,
Yeah.
and everyone's trying to sleep, and then they're like practicing Spanish like super duper loud.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, but like I was just like, yeah, it's cute that she's like exploring and curious and all that stuff, but she just wanted everyone to talk to her, and she would be like, "Mommy, they're ignoring me, or they're not talking." And then every time she looked towards me and Ian, we were like,
Yeah.
and then at some point she was like, "They're falling fast asleep. I keep trying to talk to them, but they're falling fast asleep." And I was just like, "Girl." And then Ian tried to entertain her a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Oh god.
yeah,
That's so funny.
there was like some
But
drama going on too because there was like a stop, and
uh-huh.
I actually would recommend doing it. Like I would probably do it again, but they had like a stop where you can go eat food and take a restroom break.
Yeah.
But there was also some people on our shuttle who like they like bought something and it was already like super expensive, and then they had to use cash, and then the lady came out and was like, "Oh, you like gave me the wrong change or you took more or whatever."
Yeah.
It was a whole thing, and then the little girl was like, "What happened?" Like after
Get out of
she
our
was like,
business right now.
what happened? And,
Yeah.
and then the mom was like already defending the lady,
Yeah.
like the worker, but it was actually the lady was in the not the worker, the lady who had paid was
Yeah.
actually in the right, and she was just like, no,
Wow.
she messed up the change
Yeah.
and stuff, and I
Oh,
actually
okay.
overpaid, yeah, and so, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we went to Costa Rica, we stayed at Umami
Which
and
is a
stuff.
beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's literally The Sims in real life.
Yeah.
It is so gorgeous. The pool is so nice. They have such a nice like area to lay out in, and oh, it's so good. Their breakfast was also very good there.
Yeah.
Costa Rica goes off with their breakfast. I will give them that. They're very fresh fruit, very like such oh wow.
What was your favorite part of Costa Rica?
I don't know. I think it was just like how green it was.
Yeah.
Like just everywhere that we were going, like next to the waterfall and everything, like it was just gorgeous. And then the day that we were driving back to the airport back to San Jose, like we were driving like over these big mountains, I guess, like in the middle of it, and everything was super foggy and just like the brightest green. And you could see all these animals around and everything, and it was just like wow, like we were really in the jungle. Like, it was such a crazy experience. I really enjoyed that. I would love to go back to Costa Rica. And then you surfed there for the first time.
Yeah,
as
I was
well.
gonna say I'm surprised you didn't say it was the surfing.
That's
But
because it was
yeah.
a small day. It wasn't like a great surf day, but I'm really happy that you got to
You're
do
like,
it.
I've had better waves. But yeah, I was very grateful for you getting me out there to surf because like I was really scared, but it was
You did really good. Like
yeah.
really good.
And then you shocked me too because I've never saw you surf until that day, and
Yeah.
so she was getting it, y'all. She's a pro. She's a pro, or at least more than what I've seen.
Yeah.
From like anybody I know.
No,
It was under the Aries like full moon. It was going from Pisces to Aries. We're so devastated.
Yeah,
I moved
it.
Yeah. Okay. We had did we
Take
talk?
two.
I guess we talked about food and stuff in Costa Rica, Puerto Viejo, and all that. But you went to Mexico for a while. You said for it was like 3 months.
Yeah, so at the beginning of this year, me and my partner, we were in Mexico for a surf trip. So we flew into Mexico City. We were there for about a week, and then we went down to Oaxaca, and we like did a road trip down the whole coast of the state, which was really great. There's really fantastic people there. Like the views are beautiful. The surfing was great for me. It wasn't like great for a really experienced surfer, but for somebody that was starting like beginning to intermediate, I felt like there were so many waves and so many different spots that really helped me advance and kind of just like see the differences between it all. No, but it was such a beautiful trip. I would love to see more of Mexico and see more of that. And then halfway or like close to the end of that, I flew from Oaxaca to Cancun and met up with Celica there as well. And we spent some time in Cancun and Mujeres, which was also very beautiful, very different vibes to what I have been
very
doing.
touristy. Definitely cater to the tourists. It's still great views, very blue,
so
turquoise
beautiful
water. But yeah, we went clubbing for a little bit. Went to the what's called that like strip. Did you say reminded you of Las Vegas?
Looks just like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's like wow.
It was really nice because Isla is like it's a small island, and then from like one point to the other, it's like a 20-minute drive.
Yeah, go-kart drive. Yeah.
I would say it's like walkable, but if you're trying to go like downtown and then to like the neighborhoods and stuff, it's like a 20-minute drive.
And the place that we were staying at was really pretty as well, like the house. And then her dad got a yacht or like chartered a yacht for the day, and it was so good. Like the staff did a really good job of like the food was also really great.
We went snorkeling there. I can't remember if I got this, but what was your favorite part of Costa Rica? Was it the surfing or it was the
No, it was just how green everything
was.
Yeah, and we did a like small tour like through the jungle to get back to where we were going. And we saw like sloths and there's like crazy animals just like everywhere. And I was like, wow, like we really are in their territory. Like it really is their place.
How was your trip to Mexico City?
It was really good. It was really big, very crowded. Like there was so much traffic. But we got to eat at some really nice places, and it's just like the culture of it. Like I feel like there's stuff happening. Like you can feel it. Like there's a lot of things like being done there that are very cool. And the traditional places are also gorgeous. Like there's a beautiful castle. You've been to Mexico City as well? Yeah. There's a really nice castle with a museum in it. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it tells so much like history of Mexico and like the Bellas Artes, where like it's just so gorgeous. Like there's so many really nice buildings and everything. And then when we came back, our last night we were in Mexico City as well, and we went to this cabaret show. Yeah, it was so good. And I was like, wow, why haven't I been to more of these? Like it was like not even like it was sexy, but it was just like, dude, they're so good at just dancing and just like telling stories and stuff. I was like, wow, fantastic. Good on them. And Duncan like fell asleep. No. And I was like, what is this? But it was all in Spanish, and he doesn't speak Spanish, so I think he was just like,
why am I
don't
here?
understand. Yeah. But I had a blast. That was really good.
And now you live in Ireland.
Yeah, I've been there for the last like 2-ish years, on and off. I do split my time. Obviously, we still like travel a lot, but I am there for most of the year. We're in this really great small place. It's on a peninsula, off of a peninsula, so we're very surrounded by ocean on all sides. It's like a 5-minute walk to the beach, any direction from the house. And there's a really big water sports community there. So my partner's dad went there from England when he was really young and has lived there since, and has introduced a lot of people in the area to water sports and has brought a lot of people there because of the water sports. So he runs a school, so there's like surfing and foiling and windsurfing and all of these different things that I didn't even know existed. Yeah. And it's great because I get to try out a lot of them, and it's some work. Like it's a lot to learn a sport when you're an adult. Like I don't know, so many of the people, my partner included, started surfing when they were babies. Aww. So it's just like they've always grown up. Like I don't know, it's the same as like riding. Yeah, like riding a bike. Like they're so able to do everything, and it's some.
And then y'all went to Africa.
Yeah. Our first trip together, we went to South Africa. My first time, but he had lived there previously when he was younger. So we went back to a lot of the places that he had spent time with, met a lot of his friends. It was such a gorgeous place, and like the food was really good there as well, and it was very cheap, so it was very like doable trip.
You went surfing there too, right?
I did, yeah. Only one day. I did watch Duncan surf a lot, but it was just like very different conditions than what I was used to, and it was like
Yeah.
massive waves. He surfed with a sea turtle as well. Like he was
Oh,
like one day it was
what?
like him and this like sea turtle kept coming up to them and like
Yeah.
going around them, which is meant to be really good because if there's sea turtles around, there's no
Mm.
sharks,
Oh,
and it's like
nice.
very sharky around there, and
Mm.
all the river mouths everywhere. There's like tons of rivers everywhere, and wherever the river comes into the sea, like that's where they like stay for the most part. Like they all like go along there.
Yeah.
So it was very scary. It was very like even just like shallow water. I was like, I can't do this. But there was also tons of whales,
Yeah.
and so like there's so many lookup points that are literally just set up so that you can go and like see the whales jumping. And we did like it was like you just sit there for a little bit and you can just like see them like splashing in the distance.
No.
Um, which is really cool. I've never seen a whale before.
And I forgot that you stayed in Yellowstone for a bit too.
I did, yeah, before
Was it for like a couple months?
back after I came back from our trip when we went to Europe for those 2 weeks. I literally like I was here for 2 days, packed my car, and then I had gotten a job working at Yellowstone as like a seasonal worker. I found it on TikTok
Yeah.
and I applied for it, and I was like, I forgot who I was telling, but they were like, "No, this isn't
See, anything
real."
is possible.
It is, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know if it's real," but I was like, "Let me just like apply. Like, if it happens, it happens. If not, like, I'll never hear anything back." And
Yeah.
no, I had an interview. Like, they called me very shortly after that, and we set up an interview. And they were like, "Yeah, like, come out." Um, so I packed my car and I drove for 2 days to get over there, and it was one of the best experiences that I've ever had. Like, it was such a great, just like learning and being. Um,
Also, forgive us if you can hear the puppies.
These are
They're
having a
rowdy. They're
difficult
having
time
breakfast right
today.
now.
Yeah. So if you work in Yellowstone, you get to live in the park as well. So it, yeah, like there, we would wake up in the morning and there'd be buffalo like outside our door, and like down the road there'd be wolves and like bears and things. So it was just,
Ooh.
and I'm
And you
scared of
had like
bears.
you like no signal
Yeah,
and
and
stuff
there'd be like no
too.
signal in the park. Like
Mm-mm.
in the main buildings you'd get Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
would like cut in and out depending on the days. When I was meant to leave, when my contract ended, we ended up getting a big snowstorm and we got snowed into the park, so there were no visitors, just us. And they, like most people were meant to be leaving the day that I was leaving, so they only had enough food for like a small amount of the staff.
Oh
And
man.
so we were rationing. Like they were like, "We do not have anything to feed you guys."
That is crazy.
So it was definitely like being in another world. Like I was like, wow, like this could turn into survival very quickly. But it didn't. The snow cleared and we were able to leave and everything was fine. But yeah, I worked there. It was a summer season that I did. But I think I got there like end of July, beginning of August. So I was there until October. I did office assistant
Nice.
work. I made the zodiac for the horoscopes for
That's
everybody in the office.
nice.
Oh, it was so good.
That's fun. Going back to Ireland, do you have like any favorite spots or like go-to spots or places that you like to go to daily
Yeah.
or recommend?
Mm, the place where I'm at, there's not much in terms of like restaurants or cafes or anything like that, but the nature is really great, so there's a lot of walking to do around there. And the surfing is definitely like any day that there's waves, any day that there's good waves, people are out. And it is a very like the water community is so strong. We had a funeral there last week for a man, and he was a surfer. And as a part of his like celebration, we all went and did a paddle out. We were all in the water, and they brought like buckets and buckets of flowers. And so we all got in this big circle, and we were just like throwing flowers into the water, and like people were screaming, and like I don't know, it was very ritual, like very magical. And I'd never been to something like that for somebody's like life celebration. And it was like no, like you could definitely feel it, like it's so strong, and it's not just like the Irish community. It's not just like small town community. It's the surf community specifically is just very
very like
together.
grounding and
yeah. I was like,
it was
wow,
really nice.
like I can't believe that I get to see that and like be a part of it and
right.
like just wow, no, it's so good.
I
Yeah.
wanted to like experience that.
No, I had never surfed, like barely been in the water before I went to Ireland, and now it's such a big part of my life. Like it really is something that I see myself doing forever.
Did you ever think you would end up in Ireland when you were younger?
Not really. Like it was never a place that I was called to. I always wanted to go to Europe. Like I was always like, I want to go to Italy and I want to go to Paris and I want to go to these things. And I remember when I was thinking about the trip and like I had done my route and I was like, these are the places that I want to go. And then I was like, should I go to Ireland or Scotland? And I was like, I'm only going to go to one. They seem similar enough. Like I don't really have to see it. And I ended up choosing Scotland. Like I was going to go to Scotland instead.
Yeah.
And then it was just by like whim, like it was just chance that I ended up there. Before the trip, like people were like, well, I hope you find what you're looking for and like I hope you find yourself and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not really looking for anything. Like, I want to see the places. Like it's not like I'm looking for myself. But as I was getting closer to the end of the trip, I was like, there's something that's like meant to be coming. Like there's something that's like gonna happen. Yeah, and it's like it just like hasn't happened yet.
I wonder where it is on your astrocartography.
Yeah, I actually should look. I haven't.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, I was like, oh, it was this place. Like I was supposed to be here. Yeah, nice. I don't know. I couldn't be happier. Yeah.
And I know sometimes from Ireland you'll like travel to Italy sometimes or like other countries nearby.
Yeah. So everything is so close together and the flights are stupid cheap. Like once you're in Europe, like Ryanair flights are literally like $15 to go. So it's
when you told me that and then I looked, I was like, oh yeah. He was not lying.
No, it's so cheap. Like sometimes it's more, but for the most part, like if you do it at the right times, like you can get very good deals.
Yeah.
So I feel like the place that we are, it's so small and it's so like kind of far away that I forget that everything is literally right there. But yeah, like we've gone to Scotland, we went to Edinburgh and did the Highlands and stuff, and I've gone to London several times because I have friends that live there. And then yeah, like I've been back and forth to Italy. It's just like everything is at your fingertips. Like you can literally go anywhere. And all the food is so good. And even the stuff that's imported to Ireland because it is a small island, it's all just from there. Like it's all just like Italian, like Spanish food. Like it's all of the things are just so close. So I don't know. Everything's so fresh.
What would you say is the pros and cons? No, I wouldn't even say the pros and cons. How would you compare like Europe to the US?
I can go like pros and cons. Like there's definitely more things available to you quicker in America. Like there's like so many coffee shops, there's so many like gyms. There's so like the convenience is definitely there. And they do not do great iced coffees, unfortunately, in Europe. Like they're just not popular.
Yeah. Or I remember we had salsa in Paris, and you were like, "What is this?"
Yeah. Like the spicy foods, the Mexican foods.
Yeah.
Like I have been to a few places and I'm like, okay, like this is good. Yeah. The red 40 is not there. It doesn't like hit. They try to put the nice chemicals in there. They don't want to give us the forever chemicals. You are given more opportunity to travel without relying on like your own vehicle as well. So there's like so many trains and buses and like planes. Like everything is the transport is definitely there and it's easier to connect and so much more walking. Like you're just able to walk everywhere and like see everything. And it's not like walking on the side of the highway. It's not like walking and there's no sidewalk. So I really appreciate that about Europe.
Do you think like Europe or even like Mexico and stuff, like having more like walkable cities, do you think that is what helps develop like a better sense of community?
I think so. Yeah. Like just you miss so many things when you're in a car and you're just like buzzing by, and it's like it's not about the journey at all. Like it really is your destination. Like I'm trying
Yeah.
to go here, I'm gonna get my things done.
Mm.
And whenever you're walking somewhere, like there is so much more chance for other experiences to happen and to see other things, to meet other people. Like there's so many times that I've been walking to somewhere and I run into so many people that I know, or like taking a bus and there's like people there as well. And it
Yeah.
wasn't people that I had sought out to see or sought out to like catch up with. And then like I did, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
great, like now like we're still in contact. Like now we've still like gotten a little bit closer and stuff, and it's not. I don't know. Like I feel like that never happens when you're in a car. Like you don't like run into somebody and be like, okay.
You're so right about the destination thing, because I feel like when I'm driving, because I use the GPS for everything,
Yeah.
and so I feel like when I'm driving, I zone out, and so
Yeah.
I'm not even looking unless I'm in another country or something. Then I'm like exploring, but
Yeah.
yeah, you don't know what's around, or I wouldn't know what's around.
No, me too. Like I feel like sometimes I'm driving and I like just like fully like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm here. Like I
locked
don't remember
in
a single thing that happened that whole drive.
for
Yeah.
real. Going off of that, do you have like any advice for people who are like solo traveling, that are like trying to make friends or put themselves out there, or like
Yeah.
how would you segue through that?
I would say don't be scared. I have done a lot of solo traveling and I've really enjoyed it. I've like rarely, I can't even think of a time that I felt unsafe for the most part. Um, it's been really great. And then in terms of friends, I definitely recommend hostels. Like it is the cheaper way to go anyway. Um, but there's so many people and there's so many people traveling solo and they're looking for friends. Like they're also like trying to do the same activities that you're doing. I've visited some really great places and been able to go with a group of people that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And it ends up being like such a fantastic experience. I recently went to Northern Ireland to the capital. It's called Belfast, and that's where the Titanic like sailed from. So I went to the Titanic museum with this girl that I met in my hostel and her friends. And it was such a great like experience. Like they were like studying in the Netherlands, or they're from the Netherlands and they were studying in the UK. And like I was just like getting to hear all their like personal drama and all of their things, and like they were so welcoming of me into their group and just like letting me hang out. But there's also, since like they weren't my friends, it was also very easy to be like, okay, well bye guys, like I'm done now. Like thank you for this, but I'm gonna go do my own thing
Thank
now.
you for the experience.
Yeah. So it was really good. It was, yeah, like it's a little bit less pressure than when you're traveling with family or with a partner and you're like, okay, I have to do everything that they want to do. Like I have to go wherever they say that they like feel ready for and stuff. Like whenever you're going with other people, it's just like, well, you want to go there, I want to go here. I'll catch you later. Like there's nothing. Yeah.
See you next time. Or if you end up crossing paths again, you know?
And I have with so many people that I've met traveling. I've ended up like Amory and his partner that we met in Paris. I ended up going and staying with them in
Look, and then
Belgium.
Emery be like, "Oh, I want to come to Houston."
Yeah.
You know, we start hosting.
No, it's so good. And then one of my friends, Kat, I met her in Berlin, and then I saw her again in Budapest, and then she
Oh
came and stayed with
yeah.
me in Ireland, and then I've gone and stayed with her a few times in London as well. So it's so like being able to see people in all these different environments. It's so cool.
You don't have to give us too much tips or advice. Do you have like any recommendations on like shortcuts on how to like go about traveling if you think it's impossible? Or I know some people worry about like the expense or even being able to afford it. I know I'm the type of person where I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do this,
Yeah.
type of thing. But yeah, do you have like any advice for that?
I would say just keep an open mind. Because especially if you're just starting out and you haven't done a lot of traveling, or if it's like a country that you haven't been to before, the way that we're used to things working here aren't the way that things work there. And there's other opportunities and other things that you can do. I did a few World Packer experiences, which I didn't even know what World Packers was when I first started traveling, and then meeting people that had been long term traveling and had been moving for a long time. They had so many options. So it's just like always keep an open mind and always like, I don't know, just like be willing to say yes and be willing to be like, okay, like I do want to stay here. I would be okay with doing like 4 hours of work in exchange for like these experiences and these things. And like money isn't the only currency. Like I do feel like I've gained that knowledge a lot, that like people aren't just looking for your money. Like if you do art, if you do like design, if you do other things,
These
like they are so
services.
willing, yeah, to like facilitate things and like help you out. And a lot of the times, like they're happy to help you out without getting anything in return as well. I don't know. It's just always good to, yeah, be flexible and let people surprise you. Like let them be kind to you and accept it without, I don't know, like feeling like you will owe them something in return. Like sometimes it really is like people are just, I don't know, like they don't mind.
Want to be a
Like
part of
they're
the
okay.
journey.
Yeah.
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 I was gonna say personally, sometimes I feel like it's like when it comes to achieving things like traveling, sometimes you do have to like make certain sacrifices or prioritize other things and put stuff on the back burner in order to like make things happen. And a lot of times I feel like at the end of the day it's worth it, you know. And Leslie also has a Patreon if you'll like to learn more about her experiences. She gives out a lot of advice and tips on there. So please subscribe. And she shares her stories, all her stories about like everywhere she's gone, and we've hit a good amount of them here today, but she goes even more in depth in there with pictures and videos, and it's crazy. Like it looks really really cool. It's like a whole journal entry. I recommend. And then I know that you had like a YouTube and stuff. Do you think you'll be doing that more so in the future, or you're gonna more so focus on Patreon?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that as well because I do enjoy Patreon for kind of the slowness of it. Like I love being able to write and like having long posts and being able to post like my static pictures and things because like we were talking about earlier on Instagram, like they don't really get the recognition anymore.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to be able to have them on my Patreon and like just even for myself going back and seeing and being like, oh, I kind of forgot about that experience. I forgot that I did all of those things. It's really great. But I do have a big trip planned for this coming up year. So I am thinking that it might be nice to go back into the vlogging and like doing a little bit more
because
YouTube.
I know people said this to you before too, and I feel the same way. People are literally living through you.
Yeah.
Like I feel like my perception of you is you are doing the impossible, and you've like breaking the idea of like um things not being possible when you're young, or even just being like a small brown girl being like, I'm gonna do what I want to do and dream it and make it happen. And so I feel like seeing you when I talk to you about like my friends and stuff and even family and everything, and a lot of them will be like, oh, does she have like videos and all that stuff? But people are living through because it is, you're making it happen.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like we can all make it happen, which is why I'm so passionate about my Patreon and just like putting the information out there because I didn't have information when I started doing it. And it did like there was a lot of times where I was like, fuck, like what am I doing? Like I don't know this place. I was just about to ask,
like, did you ever have moments where you're like any obstacles that you face where you're like, oh, can I keep doing this? Or
no, and just like growing up, I didn't know anybody that was doing what I wanted to do. And my whole family, they were like, yes, like traveling is nice, but you need to settle down. Like you need to think about like staying here and staying nearby and all of these things. And I knew that that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I want to be, I don't know. Yeah. If I could encourage like one person to go out and like see something new or to like reach a dream that they've had about going someplace, like that's all I want. Like I just want somebody to feel like, okay, like if she can do it, like I can do it too. So I don't know. That's during my Patreon. And we'll see. We'll see about the YouTube. I don't know. I've been so like I don't dislike videos. Like I really I don't know. I was a lot of work. Fine with like recording myself and stuff. But I don't know why lately I've just been like put off it. but not my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. Bring it back. Bring it back. I know for me, it's like I was saying something I'm like, oh, this would be a great idea, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to be perceived.
Yeah, I don't actually want y'all to listen to me talk.
Right. And it can even just, I guess it can still just even be just like clips and stuff, and maybe a voiceover here
Yeah.
and there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I will do. I do think a lot of my previous travels, I just wasn't prepared for it either.
Mm.
Like, it was so rushed and I was going places and like things were happening that I kind of just forgot about like that aspect of recording
Yeah.
until it was too
Mm.
late. And I feel like maybe now if I set up properly, I
Yeah.
would.
Well, thank you so much for being here and being my first guest.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that she is also in my last vlog. I talked about how I had something on the way that is developing, and she is the co-founder of this little project
We
we've been
brought you
working
something.
on.
Yes.
Yeah, and so be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned for that
Mm-hmm.
because this is our baby.
Yes.
And
Our
I'm very
child.
excited to share. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for being here and being
Thank you.
inspirational and
Yeah, thank you for talking to me.
existing. Yes, but
Yeah.
is there anything else you want to say or leave off or let them know that you got going on or you have any movies coming out?
Yes, actually, I have written 10 novels. So, no, I think that's me. Yeah, just look forward to more traveling and more being able to make things and share things with everybody. And thank you for giving me a space to talk about these things.
No problem.
Yeah, no.